Yo, what's going on, everybody? Just the platform, man. We back, man. Got a good one for y'all today, man. Somebody that taught me a lot about entrepreneurship, the T-shirt game.
Yeah,
Man, somebody that, man, Patty paved the way for a lot of y'all, and y'all don't even know, man.
yeah.
Entrepreneur, long time entrepreneur at that. Go ahead, let her know who we talking to today.
What's up, though, man? It's your favorite neighborhood shirt guy, TTheShirtGuy, man. You know what I'm saying? Uh, entrepreneur, big homie, uh, marketing director for the movement, strategizer, everything that we can put together, man, to help us benefit in this shit that we in. You know what's going on, youngin?
Man, we chilling, bro. We chilling.
Good to see you. Good to see you. How you feel? It's 2026.
It's the big 26. We got some big stuff coming, man.
Yeah, yeah.
From the social media standpoint, the content standpoint, bro, we got a lot coming.
Glad you stopped by, man.
Of
Glad you
course.
stopped by.
So here at Just the Platform, we like to start at the beginning of everything.
Okay.
So let's talk about how we got into the entrepreneurship space.
Okay. Let me see. Now we're gonna have to go back a little bit.
Go ahead.
Now look, so what it was like 2006, 2006, I was doing music. And what we wanted was me and the guys, we wanted to be able to try to sell some merch. We was doing the shows, we was trying to figure out a way with damn, how could we sell the merch to be able to make some extra dollars for the shows and shit like that. So we started looking online. Back then, it wasn't all that. Amazon wasn't around yet. Uh, Matter of fact, Facebook, YouTube wasn't even around yet. They was just like in their inceptions and shit like that. So what we did was we tapped in, and the only thing that you had back then was overseas information. So you before the Alibaba and the AliExpress, it was just Ali. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
He was just dog. It was a few of the people over there in the Asian community, and they was giving out classes for silk screening and heat press work. You know what I mean? So you have to go on there and try to do long distance learning. Well, long story short, inside of that, we start ordering jerseys, customized clothing like that. So that shit sparked a real interest in me, because I'm creative. So around, yeah, like I say, 2006, we started Detroit Connection, which was a collection of different rap groups in Detroit to come together as like a marketing support group to say what we did. We took an oath of commitment to say, you know what, bro, whatever you doing, I'm gonna support. Whatever I'm doing, it'll be good for you to support. So inside of that, we got we nominated Al Nuke to be the president of the movement. Well, Al Nuke had All World Studios, a one-stop shop to where it's like a hub. He had a full infrastructure setting to where you can come there. He had the contracts for managerial contracts. He could help you out with the split sheets to let you see like what money gets divided where and shit like that. A lot of us didn't know the business part of it. We was coming from the streets and we just wanted in. You know what I mean? But we didn't do all our due diligence. So coming across Al Nuke in the all world setting with that infrastructure set up was cool because when you go in the back of his building, he had a silk screen and a motherfucking heat press. You know, my man Science and my man Rick D was back there. They was doing a lot of the work. Al Nuke was in the front office part, and then he had Sly's daughter, you know what I'm saying, baby girl. She was the producer doing all the movie production shit.
Mm.
So that was my first time to get a glimpse of what a full-fledged business as far as one-stop shop can get it. You can go from inception to market straight from inside of his building. I like that shit. So, me naturally, I link up with his producers, with his artists, the ones that was doing the graphic work.
Mm.
So we got to, we kicking it in, and they kind of start showing me certain things, giving me some more game. I hooked up with my guy KD from Inked Impressions. He was doing a lot of the screen work for DC. He was the only one that was outside of Al Nuke that had a silk screen press, and he was in it. So we was like, okay, we're gonna use Inked Impressions as our marketing, as our branding and promotions to be able to get our work done. We get the merch out and shit like that. So me and him linked up, and he was teaching me the steps. Okay, this how I go. You want to, as far as silk screen goes, we wasn't doing vinyl yet. We was doing the silk screen. So, we could have coming up with a few ideas. We did a few things. And dog, what got me into the custom work as far as being able to be a service to other people was that they were seeing what I was doing and what I was trying to sell as far as my brand was going. We was doing the thug, THUG, thoroughbred hustler, utilizing game, shit like that. Well, they liked it, and what the problem was, they was like, damn, well, can you do this for me? Can you put my name on this shirt right here? Can you do this for me? I like what you're doing, but can you do this for me? So I had to go back to the drawing board, like, whoa, okay, it's an opportunity here. I kind of love what I'm doing as far as being creative and shit. That shit was like cool for me. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? It was weird because I was in my ego and I'm a street nigga at the time. And it seemed like that seemed like some nerdy shit.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? To be always trying to deal with creating some shit, dealing with clothes and all that shit. Nigga, if you ain't selling bootlegs and stolen shit, you know what I mean? If y'all ain't boosting and shit like that, it feel like you ain't official. You know what I'm saying? It be
Yeah.
attached to your ego. So what I did was we start answering some of those calls. Like, look, let me try to do this. Okay, let me put your name on here. Boom, 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 boom. Start downloading and learning different tactics and strategies on how to implement the shit. So that was cool. You know what I mean? And it made a couple of dollars. We actually set up a few tables and shit like that. What was the weirdest thing for me that I knew that I was serious about this shit though? About 2012, I'm out the game. I said, I'm gonna leave the dope game alone. I'm done with that shit, nigga. I'm finna get into this shit right here and we're gonna be serious. So to we set up my man got a barbershop on East Warren. My man used to be VIP's cuts, right? So Reg, I say, Reg, look, I want to set up a table in the front. Let me set up a little merch table. I'm gonna sell some shit. I'm gonna give you a cut. You know what I mean? Off of what I make. I don't know if I'm finna make $1 or $2. I don't know what I'm finna do. He say, bet, go ahead, T baby. You know it's all good. And when I got out there, dog, we was selling worn up shirts because we on East Warren. The easiest thing I can think of, because everybody was screaming, worn up, was I said, I'm gonna make some worn up shirts. You know what I mean? I'm gonna break these thug shirts out. Everything was still rock gut gruddy. You know what I mean? I wasn't as creative as
Mm-hmm.
I am now to be able to push brands the way we do it now. But so I say, so we set the tables up. Man, and it was weird. You know what I mean? This is a hell of a revelation for anybody that's trying to come into something new that your people not used to you be. You know what I'm saying? They like, I don't know how I feel about this because you was X, Y, and Z a year ago, 2 years ago, you know? And I remember that shit. Niggas was like, damn, T baby, you selling shirts, nigga? You know what I mean? Damn,
Mm-hmm.
nigga, you a street nigga, you know? And I had to push through that shit, dog. And that resistance and that weird ass feeling, I ain't gonna lie, it was a weird ass feeling. And I had to go home and like deal with myself on that shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That real test. And again, I had to really deal with myself. And once I did that, it helped strengthen my character. I was able to come back out that motherfucker the next day with a better mouthpiece. You know what I'm saying? Eventually, a month goes down. Eventually, a year goes down. You know, and then we end up getting a store on the west side. We had an opportunity to get a store on Linwood, like Linwood, right there at Davidson, right there at Davidson and Linwood, not too far, like on Grand, right there by the beauty supplies, right? From this Korean who was he really was in here illegally.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? He got the whole parking lot. He got the Grandy's Coney Island. He got the beauty supply. All this, but all this shit is squatter shit. Ain't none of this shit is legal. So you know what I mean? But that was my way in. That's my Mr. Kim. You know what I mean? Matter of fact, he got all the space on 8 Mile and Gratiot right now. They don't care about that shit. You know what I mean? You know, one thing I learned about business and the way the city works, nigga, they forget quick. They memory ain't long as far as the way you do business. As long as you got money and you can pop another opportunity off, man, the city will do business with you. So he over there right now, but back then he was on the west side running the squatter shit. He got a laundromat. All this shit is open illegally. All this shit is open illegally. I'm talking about he's super squatting, but I don't know it. I see a Korean with the plate. They got a coney. All this shit. It's got to be legit. So we get up in there. We called it Detroit Customs Inc. You know, I met a lot of people and I learned a lot as far as how to deal with our people.
Yeah.
I noticed like a customer inside a Somerset Mall ain't the same. They don't act the same as they would when they coming down to your regular hood little hookup.
Of course.
Is totally different. You can see it in their face when they come in. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? You know what I mean? You can feel the entitlement that they have. Like, nigga, you should be happy I'm here. You know.
Yeah.
So it's up to you. Once you get them into that point right there, it's up to you to do the best job that you can do. provide the best service, give them that quality work, and make their ass believe. You know what I mean? The next time they see you, you want to make sure that they smile and they happy to see you. You know what I'm saying? So that's what we did, dog. It was a hell of a beginning. That was like, so I officially started to where I made my first dollar was like 2012, 2011.
Okay.
Yeah.
So getting into entrepreneurship. So once you got in, you know what I'm saying, what would you say some of the challenges were that you didn't expect?
Uh, well, one of my biggest things was my expectations. I got it wrong because I always thought, nigga, if you build it, they will come. If it's good and you like it and you see its quality, they automatically finna like it. You know what I mean? That was one of my biggest reality checks. That shit checked the shit out of my brain. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm looking at what needs to be done, and we studying all the greats. I'm studying the brands. I'm studying their packaging. I'm studying the way they put it out. I see, okay, if you need a commercial, okay, I can't do the commercial, so I'm finna come and be live in the place. So we start pulling up to live places and just physically promoting our shit, And I see that shit didn't matter. Then none of that shit mattered, dog. None of that. Not when you're dealing, because like I say, we dealing with, first of all, the aesthetics inside of Detroit. Any black man, black woman that's representing the business or promoting the business, you already behind the eight ball because don't nobody really believe that shit. It's the city of hustlers. A lot of guys pitch tents and they be bullshit. You just trying to lure me in. You want me to swipe the card so you can get my information, So you know what I mean? The hardest thing, that was the most challenging thing, was to really, really get the people to believe in me as far as me being an entrepreneur, and I'm really a shirt guy. Like, nigga, no, I'm really a shirt guy. I do this shit. You call on me, you tell me what you need, I'm gonna get it done for you. That was my biggest pitfall right there. So, but what I learned was, over time and using consistency, they ain't had no choice but to believe, because I didn't give them nothing else to see. I didn't give them nothing else to see, nigga. When you see me, I'm working on these shirts. I'm trying to do some work for a client, or I'm brainstorming. You know what I'm saying? Anytime you talk to me, I'm having a conversation about what we into and what's going on. Yeah, that was my biggest thing right there. Getting over that challenge. That my biggest challenge was making the people believe in what I was doing. You know what I mean? As opposed to me just automatically thinking that they should jump on board.
For
Yeah,
sure.
that was real talk. Yeah.
So once the people jumped on board, you know, what do you say? You know what I'm saying? How was that? Finally having clientele, finally, okay,
Oh
boom, I
man.
go from not having no orders to I'm working.
Ain't nothing like it. Ain't nothing like it. Because you trust me, even at home, I'm a married man. You know what I mean? Even at home, your girl looking.
Mm-hmm.
She hearing what you saying. You know what I mean? She hearing what you saying, but it's enough information out here, and it's enough shit on social media to show you a nigga's pushing a play, failing at that shit, tricking his girl out the money. You know what I mean? I come from the era where niggas get his girl's tax return money to go buy dope. You see what I'm saying? So it felt good. I can't lie. Like the first dollar, I don't care. I'm talking about the first dollar was a $10 shirt, worn up t-shirt, a 2X white. I remember it like it was nothing. And the guy he wasn't even pressed to have that shit. You know what I'm saying? This is a guy that don't even wear the white tees. A lot of guys don't wear white tees. You know what I mean? And he bought that motherfucker, dog, and he fucked with me. And I was like, I can't lie. I was so appreciative. It felt like, you know what I mean? It felt like I was in the game again. I'm slanging something off the hip. I'm posted on the corner, and I got him to buy that shit. Yeah.
Man, so once we got in, and then the orders coming in, we not in a city that's gonna be easy on you if you mess up.
At all.
So
At
how
all.
was that,
The
dealing with people
city,
in the
the
city?
city, no, the city is really like an extended family. The way we pressure each other, the way we motivate each other and we push each other, it come off like pure hate. You know what I'm saying? We gonna dog walk each other. We gonna tease each other. Nigga, that shit was bullshit. You know what I mean? You gonna test your will. Uh, it's just what it is, dog. It builds, it toughens the skin. Resistance is building your muscle. You know what I mean? And if you're going in knowing that you really want to do this, it's easier to accept the resistance. It's easier because you don't know what's to come, but you know something coming because we in the deep. It's a big city and we copycats. So you know what I mean? Uh, you could be doing something like me doing the shirts. A lot of times when I first started doing the shirts, they wasn't on board. But like year 2, year 3 of me doing these shirts, I started noticing that more people was getting into clothing and doing shirts. Even some of my family members, you know, because they saw that I started being successful in it. They would want to get into it and not asking me or not including me on the shit, or even asking my assistance or help, not even ask for advice, but just watching from a distance and saying, damn, if it's working for him, I want to do that shit. And that was more confirmation for me than anything. We don't even have to have a discussion then. If I see somebody that I know is a known type of hater, that's like a naysayer, I don't want to call him a hater, but a naysayer and a doubter. And then I see not only is they seeing what I was seeing, them niggas trying to do what I was doing. You know what I mean? So it's like that's a pat on the back, you know. One of the greatest forms of flattery, you know what I'm saying, is impersonation anyway. To mimic somebody, to impersonate somebody, that's another form of flattery. So a nigga trying to copy your style just lets you know that he think your style is kind of fly. You know? That's cool.
Trying to piggyback off of
Yeah.
me.
Yeah. Definitely. That means he think that what you're doing is a good idea. Even if you feeling discouraged because you want to make the money. He might not have made none of the money. He just want to do what you was doing. But once you start making what you need to make, man, and you can really quantify, say, well, damn, if I was to push this out at this price and promote it, if I promote this to 10 people this week and I got one sale, I'm gonna promote it to 20 people next week and see if that doubles. That way I know what my range is, my ratio is. And if that number game right there, shit, if that's the case, I'm gonna promote to 100 people physically and try to get a better result, you know? Yeah. Just working it out, man.
So you talked about, doing it for a while. You know what I'm saying? You talked about having the first shop. So what did it look like when, you know what I'm saying, people started, like you said, people started coming into the business and the shirt game started evolving.
It did. It did. I'm talking about what you know what I noticed? The wholesalers noticed it. The wholesalers changed the way that they marketed their clothing based on what the economy was doing. Because I'm tapped in with it, I started noticing how they changed. The wholesaler, the guys that got the big old clothing, we got a big warehouse in Detroit on the west side. Johnny, the one that make the UTs, he do all the t-shirts for all the gas stations. You know them the $5 tees, the one we call them one wears.
Yeah.
You wear the bitch one time, you can't wear it again. Yeah. Johnny, salute to Johnny, them his tees. You know what I mean? But I told him like 10, 15 years ago, like, it's over for you, Johnny. I'm in it now. But before then, Johnny used to be the only one everybody would go to. You'll go there, or you would just do scrambling searching, right? You'll do the scrambling. I'm finna go to Joanne Fabrics. I'm finna go to Walmart. I'm finna go. In the beginning, I was even hitting Foreman Mills. Foreman Mills is a big department store that got all these defective type of shirts, but you can get them for cheap. So you got to go in there, go through them, find the ones without the holes in them, without the weird stitching. You know what I mean? And what I noticed was even the wholesalers, Johnny, the way he was selling it, he used to sell all $5 pieces. He started breaking his shit down into boxes to let me know, well, damn, if I can't be the only one coming up in here on this type of time if he decided to do that, because I don't come and get all this.
Yeah,
now he got 70. Now he got boxes, $75, got 100 shirts in them. You see what I'm saying? And they all in the back. Now he talking about, yeah, just go on back there and go check them out. Go through them, man. Just get you a box, man. Give me $75. I'm like, damn. Look around. I see somebody else in here. Damn, what bro doing up in here? Oh, he on them shirts. You know what I mean? It's lucrative now. I know it started becoming, that's around 2014, 2015. It was lucrative. So by 2016, when we opened up the store on 8 Mile, man, there was already a few guys and females that had shirts, but the first ones that came out as the print shirt people in Detroit was the Hindustans, the Indians, the ones, the 7-Eleven Indians. You know what I'm saying? Them was the first ones. They got pushed out by the regular Arab, Johnny and them, the Chaldeans. The Chaldeans took it over. You start seeing shirt people in the malls and shit like that. They ain't got good quality and they don't have an eye for like our style and design. But just the fact that knowing that they was out there working the way they was working, I knew that the market was starting to open up. I knew we wasn't like in no little smooth, low key.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Little genre, little niche, little corner no more. You know what I mean? I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah. So we're gonna go back to what you said a minute ago. You talked about pushing brands. You know what I'm saying? Before you started pushing brands, what's some
Okay.
of the brands that you feel like you helped out?
Well, you want to hear something funny? The imported from Detroit, man. Uh, the imported from Detroit from Chrysler, Diamond Chrysler.
Mm-hmm.
They first little shirt, then they hook up.
Mm-hmm.
That design, me and my man's created that design. Yeah. This was it got took from us from the union reps up there, but we helped them with their sauce. Let me see. We helped them with their sauce. I helped Big Herc. I done did it for Big Herc. We done did the shirts for the the wardrobe for a few movies, Tubi movies in the D.
Mm-hmm.
As far as brands, we got LMR, we got BBE, we did the BDI, you know what I'm saying? You know, the Black Drip Ink movement. My man's with the 90s baby movement, loyalty, money, respect, LMR movement, and so many different just companies. I started off when with businesses with small companies. My man got the tow truck joint. You know what I'm saying? The tech. My first big order. My My first big client was EHD. I'm sorry, Tech, which was a temp service.
Okay.
So they just needed a simple logo with their company on the front, small pocket size, and a big boy in the back. But they had an employee list, and it was coming around, so he was reoccurring. Like every month, we'd get like 500 to 1,000 shirts. So that put me in the game as far as a steady flow. That made it real for me. You know what? Damn, I can live off of this, and it gives me room to brainstorm, still try to create, shoot try new things here, run a new strategy here. But I got something that's consistent that I can trust. You know what I mean? Yep. That was the temp service. So it was more a lot of those. It wasn't in the beginning. It wasn't a lot of clothing brands where people was trying to push their shit. We had like my man Detroit versus everybody. Uh, and Joe's Coney Island was the only main brands that was popping in the D at that time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this was before Detroit native and everything. You know what I'm saying? But we did some work for them too. Yeah, but it was a lot of the rappers and stuff like that. You know, a lot of the brands that we did help establish, I did the actual logo work for. A lot of them not in business, not today. I kind of hate that because I think we'll still be popping. I think a lot of that flavor of what we was doing was some cold shit, you know, some cold shit. But a lot of them got out of that business. I guess it didn't pop off like they wanted to pop off.
Yeah, you know? I mean, and that's understandable, you know.
Yeah, it happens. You know what I mean? It happens. We creators, we entrepreneurs first. So you do what works. You try to put a little bit of time in. You try to build on a few things. You want to water your plants, but if that plant don't break ground, you know what I mean. The way we move, you got to move on. You got to move on. Maybe you can come back to it. You know, it's like that hard problem on the test. Listen, if you're struggling with that motherfucker, skip over it and come back to it later. You know,
Yeah. So outside of the t-shirts, just strictly on an entrepreneurship standpoint, where do you get that drive from?
Man, always just wanting, and from the world of having, of not having. You know, I think that's inside of all of us. I think it really is. Our resolve, the way we say how we decide to deal with it is different. But as far as wants and needs, we all got them. We all got them. And then, so if I was blessed and fortunate enough to be able to bump into an opportunity to kind of solve some of the wants and needs, to feed that shit. You know, I could figure out a program and how to get it. And I had the patience to walk through that. But when I was a kid, man, I was always called lazy. You don't want to do nothing. You ain't going to do shit, because I didn't want to work for nobody. It was hard for me to, man, working a job and consistently going there every day for them was like the worst thing in the world. So I even believe my family and people when they said, man, he lazy. It wasn't until I found something I was interested in. See, it was easier for me to do the work as far as custom work, creating, doing the work for people, because I love the draw already. So it ain't no crazy thing. So when you add a dollar or two that I can make for me doing something that I love, it made it easier.
Yeah.
as far as that goes. But I always had a drive, I always wanted more. And that's what caused me to jump off the porch early as a younger. You know what I mean? They was offering what they was offering, and I was accepting that shit. Now my older brothers wasn't tripping. They nigga, I'm finna get a job. One in the military, the other one is working. He was in Votech at the time, right? So he, even to this day, what he went to Votech, what he went to school for, he does right now. He got an auto body shop. He paint cars. He was doing that shit in high school. You know, what I was doing was drawing on the chalkboard when everybody leave out the classroom, drawing in the books, drawing on the desk. You know what I'm saying? That's all I was doing. They call it doodling. You know what I mean? You just drawing. Whatever the textbook I got, I'm in that bitch. If it got George Washington's face right here, I'm finna turn into Batman. You know what I'm saying? Bob, I'm finna ball. You know. So I was doing shit like that. I always had a want and a need. I think a lot of us did. And and I don't want to blame it on poverty because I never really saw poverty. You know what I mean? When the kids come to school, we was teasing each other as far as how we was looking, but I never went without. So that wasn't about that. I just always wanted. You know what I mean? Always wanted more, more than whatever I had. You know? And getting out here, I ain't had no problem getting out here trying to get it.
Yeah, I mean, hunger, everything, especially when you working for yourself, because you got to be disciplined.
Drive it has to come from within. It has to come from within. I call it the blessing of passion. You know, we got a saying over here with the blessed and determined movement. We got you're blessed with the luxury of passion. You know what I mean? And you determined to be the greatest representation of that blessing. So that blessing, that passion that comes from in here, that sets the heart on fire, man, that keeps you up at night, that keeps waking you up, and every time you wake up, you still thinking about the same shit, you know what I mean? How to make it better, how to enhance it. What can I do for it might can show up today? What I'm gonna have to do for it to show up today? That's passion. That's that fire. That's that burning heart. And if you blessed with that, if you blessed with the desire and the ambition and the will to do, you know what I mean? You have to go past potential. Please go past potential. You know, potential is good, but that's just to say that, okay, you have been called.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But don't necessarily mean you was chosen. Many are called, few are chosen. You know what I mean? Potential is where you're being called. But when you have the will to do and the ability to do it, that's where you're trying to get to. That's where you're trying to get to. That's what makes this shit important. If I was to ask anybody's client, I always say this, if I was to ask your customer, would they rather you have the potential to fulfill their job or the ability to fill their job? We both know what they're gonna say. So yeah.
Sure. So we we covered the beginning. So now we gotta move through the story a little bit. So we talked about the first shop. You know what I'm saying? It was just speaking from a perspective of somebody that got a business and I ain't owned a building before.
Okay.
You know, so we'll talk about how those buildings were for you, the learning experiences that came from them.
Oh yeah, that's what I learned about overhead. Brick and mortar game, you know what I mean? The brick and mortar game. That was always a drive because I'm old school. We always come up from you gotta pitch a tent and do business out of there. Now I'm a little bit more lenient. I'm a little more liberal in my thoughts. I was more conservative with my thoughts at first. You got to get a building, you got to run the shop and push it out of there. I always promoted bring back the mom and pops, and I still do. I'm a proponent for that. But in this new way, in this new day and age, because online services is so prevalent, you know what I mean? A means to reach your client, to reach your customer is different now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You don't have to just pitch the tent, lay down a storefront, you know what I'm saying, and have his presentation right and pray that they come in the door. Now you can use different strategies and tactics, you know, as far as how you can go about getting it now that will allow you, you can get money in your sleep now.
Yeah.
You can get money in your sleep now. Back then, when we first started, the only money that you do make, this is what I learned. The only money that you do make is the money that you earn. You know what I mean? You physically have to earn it. You have to make the sale physically. Nowadays, man, you could be asleep, wake up in the morning, you know what I'm saying? And you got 10 notifications.
Yeah.
You got 20 notifications. The sales is done. AI put the play down for you. Y'all ran automation. You know, it's a different thing now. It's a different thing now, and I'm here for it though.
Yeah, no,
I'm here
for
for it.
sure. So yeah, we talked about the evolution of the t-shirt game, right? So what's the biggest difference you seen from when you started to now?
The biggest difference right now, when I started, it was silk screen. They was doing silk screen work. The only way you can get this is silk screen. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, hold on. I want to mess this mic up. This is silk screen. The only way to be able to get this done was with you have to pay for a screen first. You have to pay for your frame to get done. You had silk screen and embroidery. So you would have to pay for to get the frame done, work. Let those people go do your stuff. You would send off for your idea, your logo. They'll do that shit. You know what I mean? And you can boom, 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 boom. But now, in just the t-shirt game alone, they got DTF, DTG. You know what I'm saying? Vinyl prints. They got different styles with vinyl prints. It started becoming an instant directly to customer. You can get the work done right here. You know what I mean? Made to order became the new way of doing it. So now I don't have to come inside of a store, place an order, give you my deposit, and wait a week. You know, now everything is quick. It's microwave now. Yeah. I can walk up in the store now. You can come up in my store now. No different than you. They can walk up in your place now, tell you what they want done, and you can come back in 15 minutes.
It's good.
And you have the capacity to actually do it. The machinery, it ain't bulky and big no more. It's compact. I can set up an entire display right here. You know what I mean? Set up a workspace to do everything that we need done. It would be a heat press, a DTF machine, in a computer.
Yeah.
And we working. The difference is now from then is you can pitch a tent on anywhere. It's portable. Your store is portable now. If you need it to be. You know what I mean? All you have to do is work your ends now. If you can tap in, if you just wanted to go and say, okay, AI, keep me abreast for the world, the traveling circus. I want to go everywhere that circus is going without me having to deal directly with the people that's conducting the hookup. And you can take yourself on that same routine, on that same run. You can tour with the circus right now, selling merch and products. You see what I'm saying? Just by you bringing your whole store, packing it up in your car, in your trunk or your van, taking that shit with you and take the show on the road. You know, I always say, get your act together first, then you can take your show on the road. Yeah. In today's time, we have the capacity to do that right now. Yeah.
So what do you feel, sets that line between somebody that's passionate about doing what they're doing in the entrepreneur space and somebody that's not really passionate about what they're doing?
Time will tell. Time tells it all on them. You know, a good hustler has a good mouthpiece. A good hustler for customer service got a good mouthpiece, right? But as far as to get quality, he's not a quality salesman if his product ain't shit. So that's the defining factor right there. How good is the product that you are advertising? How good is the service that you promote? That's the thing right there. Yeah, we can call it what we want to call it out of our mouth, but if the service ain't quality, if the product ain't quality, if it ain't what I said what it was, you know what I mean? If it don't benefit the person that I'm selling it to, and have them be able to, if they don't want to speak on me, if somebody asks them about something that I do, you know what I mean, and they don't mention me, I know I did something wrong. Yeah, that's for real. Yeah. It's a big difference. It's a big difference from back then and now. I think now is more opportunities, but it's a lot more bullshitters too. Yeah. It's a little saturated because the con artist had to switch his game too. He had to switch his game, make adjustments, and he had to jump in. And because you make what you do look so good, he like, shit, I'm finna slide over there too, you know, because what happens naturally is you start getting a good standing. It's like when the restaurants is popping, when all the restaurants got good food, it's going to be some bullshit guy going to set up a store, set up a restaurant, just because everybody's comfortable now. We back believing in the restaurants. You know what I mean? It's the same thing. Yeah.
I mean, yeah. So we we didn't got through the shops. You know what I'm saying? The trials, tribulations a little bit. Where did the name originally come from for the shirts?
For the shirts,
the logo.
My logo, what I did, we got Solid, right? Solid is based on a set of principles. A lot of times, If you're going to push a product, if you got a brand, let your brand have a meaning or a purpose. You know what I mean? So under that rule, we got solid stand. We say stand on your square and stay solid. Solid is SOLID, the standard of leadership in Detroit. When you allow branding ain't what you think it is. If you thinking that it's just okay, I'm gonna put a flyer out and I'm gonna come out here and do this. I'll drop a flyer, drop a logo. You know what I mean? Because for the aesthetics, it just think it's gonna work. No, you have to breathe life into that product, breathe life into that brand. You see what I'm saying? When you put that energy on it, it becomes no different than soul food. When you pushing that brand the way you pushing it, it sits on your stomach like soul food. You can tell the difference between microwave food. You can tell the difference between restaurant food that was cooked by a disgruntled employee. You can tell like a motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? The biggest, it almost sometimes food make you sick. You know what I'm saying? Because it was cooked and served by somebody who didn't want to cook and serve.
Yeah.
So they'll transfer that energy. You know what I mean? The thing with the titling now, you have to put life into your brand. Your brand is not just a brand; it becomes an entity. You know what I mean? And when you make your brand an entity and allow it to reach out to the people gonna want to be a part of the brand more than whatever them trying to be a part of you.
Yeah.
Like we don't care about Russell Simmons the way we cared about Fat Farm back in the day. We didn't care about Puffy like we cared about that Sean John. Jordan is like one of the greatest representations for this example because we know how we felt about Jordan's game. We don't care that he was a gambler. We don't care about all that negative shit. Jordan was the best at what he does. I want to be, yeah. So when he put a shoe out, yeah, I'm finna fuck with him because if nothing else, I want that energy.
Yeah.
Up on over here with me, you know. So that's the key. That's the key. It's very serious.
So
Yeah.
boom. So talked about Michael Jordan, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
How we don't look at the bad stuff. You know what I'm saying? We don't looking at the what he good for, what he great for. You know what I'm saying? So how do you keep your light, you know what I'm saying, shining to where it's like, man, they only looking at me for what I do and who I am, you know what I'm saying, not nothing else.
Well, at this point, for me, that's all I can ask for. If they're gonna look at me, if they're gonna be looking at me. But a lot of times, I'm the brand, I'm TTheShirtGuy. It helps me in what I'm doing. But if it was to say it was the Michael Jordan situation, let's say, man, a nigga like we know him because his brand becomes that shoe becomes the epitome of his work ethic, right? So when you looking at me, I'm really a servant to the community. It hits different. It hits different the way you will look at me and judge me. You're gonna say, well, damn, he the servant to the community. So they don't really watch my pockets as much as they would watch a star. I'm more of a servant to a Michael Jordan. I'm more of a servant to you. You know what I mean? I'd be there doing the work for you in the background. You know what I mean? I'm a hell of an asset. You know what I mean? I'm more of a hell of an asset. I'm the easiest guy to get along with that's out there on the playing field. You know what I mean? I'm not in the way. I'm not too much competing. The way I push my brand is not too many people that push their brand the way I push my brand because I'm not necessarily saying, look at me, nigga, and look at me and love me and put my name on your back. No, I'm really saying, no, let me put my work, my essence, my love of my craft, you know what I'm saying, with your program. Yeah. It's a little different for me, like that part right there. You know what I'm saying? But I like to be if the way I do solid. We personally, the majority of the shirts that we did, the units that we did for the solid, we personally pushed those out on the quiet tip. The way we do these, we do private shipping to send it as a tip to the hat. Hey, bro, I see you doing your thing. I want you to rock one of these solid shirts. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
From me to you. So it's a different way of the way we push this brand right here. This is more for the initiated. This is more for like the entrepreneurs, the ones who that I feel deserve this type of brand. But say it's a Nike, say it's a Black Drip Inc. The way we're gonna go about promoting that is gonna be a little bit different though.
Yeah,
We'll push it.
stage
We would, you know what I'm saying? We can use a guy like Jordan. because of the qualities that he brings, and we would add that to your brand. You know
Okay,
what I mean? So it's about strategies. We got different strategies and shit, you know.
for sure. So we talked about strategies inside of the shirt game,
Mm-hmm.
and and you don't just only do shirts. You know what I'm saying
No.
you do content as well,
Yeah,
and a
yeah,
plethora of other things.
yeah. Cloth talk with TTheShirtGuy. You know what I'm saying? Where I like to give them, like to give the perspective of an entrepreneur that's connected to his people, that's understanding of his people, and I can give you some of the principles that I gave that I would use in me dealing with my peoples every day on this motherfucking hustle, because this shit crazy, and you got to have patience with your people. You know what I'm saying? Because if you don't, man, you will lose it and they'll bring you down.
Sure.
That's for sure. That's for sure.
So being inside of the content space, you know what I'm saying, how have you been able to tie that in with what you've already been doing?
I found out it goes hand in hand. It goes hand in hand, especially in the pandemic. And I started Cloth Talk during the pandemic when it first came, right?
Mm-hmm.
Everybody was in the house. And Erica Badu, she was in the crib. She came on the line and said, look, y'all, I'm finna do a live concert. Since we all stuck in the house, I'm finna do a live concert for all my fans and my fans only. Fast forward, the company OnlyFans came out. She was the first one to break OnlyFans.
Mm-hmm.
But what she was doing was showing you a template. Damn, I don't even have to really be doing the work. You know what I mean? Long as I stay in my people's face when it comes to advertisement, the major part of advertisement is the visual.
Mm-hmm.
That's why they pay so much money during the Super Bowl. They pay big dollars for you to see them while you watching the most important game of that year. You know,
Mm-hmm.
while you sitting there looking at that screen, they want to put their face into place. So what I started doing with the content creation, I would tell my clients, well, look, okay, I'm gonna do the work for you. We're gonna do the work, and why before you leave, let's have a sit down, and then you explain,
Mm-hmm.
what got you into this, or if you don't want to tell your story, let's speak on the brand. What makes the brand quality? It's no different than it's like a live commercial, and they would start, some took to it. Some it was uncomfortable for them for real because they like, nigga, I ain't never been getting to no front no cameras,
Mm-hmm.
so it was forcing me to say, well, okay, I'll do it for you.
Right.
You know what I mean? Okay, well, I'll do it for you. I'll be able to offer that, but I had to train myself, and I'm still learning certain things as far as having that particular infrastructure set up for brand pushing.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Is great for brand development and just that brand advertising. You got to have the camera with you. I would say keep a camera with you at all times. I would say keep a camera with you at all times. Right now, every time when you're not selling clothes, show me your clothes. And you don't have to show them folded up in the rack. Put the clothing on, go to the store, and make a moment of it. Let's capture the moment.
Mm-hmm.
So and let's do it. And it don't have to be you. It don't have to be you. Put it on somebody else, and then let them go about their everyday life.
Yeah.
You know, cut the camera on them for a minute, and let me see them with your shit on.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's all about working the strategies and having tactics and having fun with it.
Yeah.
You got to have some fun with it. And as long as you're having fun with it, the energy during the cooking process is always possible. It's always positive. Yeah.
Of course. So going back to the marketing side of things, like, what do you think your favorite marketing strategy is?
My favorite.
Mm-hmm.
Well, right now, my favorite part right now is really just like it's the video, but I've been messing with this music, right? So I'm dealing with AI. I've been dealing with the AI as the normal ones, Gemini, Nano Banana, ChatGPT. So I'm having fun, and what I learned was you can put music with it now. You know what I mean? It's allowing me to make music. So not only are we giving you some visuals and new ideas like that, man, we can give the essence. We can create the frequency for your brand now.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm on to the stage of we actually creating the frequency for your brand.
Yeah.
That's a hell of a thing. I did a job for Mercy's Little Miracles child care company, right?
Mm-hmm.
And she didn't even know that I was going to do it, but so we did the clothing. I say, well, you know what? I'm gonna make a song do a jingle for it. You know what I'm saying? Put some flavor on it, do it jazzy, and it came out well. So now with the music, and it's hers. You know, I did it for her, it's hers. With her music, now every time they in the house humming, they humming the song with her title in it. Nobody is around looking, nobody has kids right here, but her name and her frequency is being pushed inside of that house. And that's the key right there. We adding frequency to your shit now. You know what I mean? Not only do you have to have that we create a character or identity for your company, now we creating a frequency with it as well. Yeah.
Sure. So before we wrap anything up, we like to always end stuff on a note to where you could give a little game or a little something to anybody who wants to be in your position in the future. You know, so what are some things you would say?
I would say the first thing for me, I would say the first thing you're gonna have to learn and understand, what you will come to learn and understand, is you're gonna have to trust the process. You're gonna have to find the lane, get strong in it. But please, please, make sure the dream you chasing is the dream you having. That's it. The Shirt Guy, man. I'm glad you had me here, Neff. This was great, man.
No, most definitely,
Great.
and we're gonna be back too. It ain't. This ain't the first and the last. We definitely gonna have
Oh
to
no,
bring you
yeah, I'm too crazy about you, baby. You know what I'm
back. We gonna
saying? I'm too
have the
happy to
rest
see
of
you,
them,
man. Yeah,
man.
yeah,
So just let the people know where they can find you on your social media.
yeah. I'm The Shirt Guy on Instagram. T Guy. You know, is at The Shirt Guy, all lowercase, nothing, no underscores or no shit like that. Cloth Talk. I'm The Shirt Guy on YouTube. Shirt Guy the same way on Facebook. It's spelled TEEDAH Shirt Guy. It's Shirt Guy on Facebook. Tap in, man. Come see us. Tats for Tees. We are T4T.com. The website. Get ready. I got some big things coming with the Solid Universe. We have a comic book character. We have the music coming. We have Timothy Gabriel, who is our artist, and yeah, the merch. What can I say? Check us out, man. It's been a great thing, you know? Yeah.
Man, we got plenty more coming, man. We wrapping up this episode of Just a Platform. I appreciate everybody for watching.
Salute to Just a Platform, man.
Of course,
Yeah.
man. Hey, man, Just a Platform. Appreciate y'all.